Well, for me, there's only one takeaway from that match, and that is that Alejandro Garnacho cannot leave this football club. And if he does in the next few days, it represents a systematic failure of the current ownership as a whole, Glaziers and Ineos, and a severe lack of ambition going forward, and a clear admission of how far this club has fallen in the space of the last 10 years. Because the impact he has made tonight is the reason we've won this football match. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, Ahmad made an impact as well, but the key impact tonight came from Alejandro Garnacho. And firstly, you have to give massive credit to him, because all the stories around him and the club trying to sell him and the money being thrown around him, he has just got his head down, he's carried on with his job, and he is playing arguably the best football he's ever played in a Manchester United shirt, despite how bad of a state we're in at the moment, certainly in our Premier League position. Okay, we've had a really strong finish to our Europa League campaign today, which means that we're in a really good spot going into the knockout stages. But he can't leave. If he leaves, it's what I just said. It represents how far we've fallen. Manchester United's history is built on bringing in young talent, turning them into superstars, and then winning with those superstars. We don't sell those players when they're 20. We don't do that. We've never done that. You even look at the likes of Ronaldo. He won everything at Manchester United, and we sold him at the age of 24. I'm not saying we're going to win everything with Garnacho in the next 4 years, but that's what Manchester United do. They don't sell them now. They don't sell them before they then go on to superstardom. That is the mindset of a feeder club. Manchester United has not been a feeder club, certainly not in my lifetime. And if Alejandro Garnacho leaves to go to Napoli or Chelsea or whoever in the space of the next few days, it is a systematic failure of the ownership and an admission that we are essentially finished as a big football club. I've not mentioned anything about it up till this point, but the impact he's made tonight needs to be spoken about, because it is the reason we've won this football match. And obviously I can talk about the tactics and what Ruben Amorim did in the second half and how that's the real reason why it's worked. But it works because the players he's brought on have applied the application of the instructions and they're good enough to do it. So that's why I felt like I needed to concentrate on that first. So that's the first thing I have to say. Garnacho is the reason we've won this football match. He had a brilliant performance. It's just a shame for him he wasn't able to get a goal on top of it. But outside of that, certainly in that second half, a really, really comfortable performance from Manchester United, which, to be honest, I didn't expect. I wasn't sure what to expect from FCSB. Obviously, if there are the usual fans that I get in my Europa League videos that are watching this, let me know what you thought of their performance, because, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit more resilience from them. Yes, they had a couple of half chances, the pop shot that hit the bar and a couple of good set pieces, but we know how bad we are on set pieces anyway. So in that regard, I don't think we were tested anywhere near as much as I thought we would be tonight, but we still have to get the job done, and we did get the job done. And it's 5 wins out of 6, which, considering where we were about 3 weeks ago, where we just lost 4 in a row and we hadn't won in 7 in a row, and now it's 5 wins in 6 matches, all of a sudden we're starting to look like we're building something. And there are a couple of things he did differently today, which I was happy to see in the first half in terms of the actual approach, but disappointed in the first half in the execution of the players. I sat here the other day when we played Højlund, Garnacho, Ahmad up front, and I said that's never going to work, because all 3 are going to run in behind. You need to play the 2 attack-minded midfielders, like your Erikssons, like your Brunos, etc. Play them off Højlund to allow Højlund to make runs in behind. Then if you bring in Xerxes on, that's when you then want the Garnachos and the Ahmads and the Rashfords and the whoever, the quick players you want around Xerxes being up front. But unfortunately, in that first half, other than a few bits of brilliance from Kobbie Mainoo, who, again, we'll get to, I was a bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I thought the service into Højlund wasn't very good. Okay, we knew FCSB were going to sit back. We knew they were going to absorb pressure. And that's why I liked Ruben Amorim's starting lineup, because it showed he had the intelligence to go, right, well, we're not going to be making many runs in behind, so let's get all our creative players in and around the penalty area and try and get the odd ball slipped in through to Højlund and see if we can create him an opportunity. It only really happened on 2 occasions. The first time we absolutely the second time we absolutely should have scored. The first time, Mainoo's just unlucky. Good ball in behind, brilliant bit of skill, good defensive tackle to deny it. The second one, we had to score. Brilliant movement in behind from Hoyland. Brilliant pass to slip him through. He runs in behind, exactly what he should be doing. Cuts it back, and somehow Kobbie Mainoo skied it over, which was really disappointing. However, that's all we really got in the first half. I thought Malacia was poor. It's obvious why he's not been playing. It's obvious why we're signing Drogu, and hopefully we can see him. I don't think it's going to be in time for Palace, but hopefully we'll see him in the FA Cup next week. But he had to come off at half-time, and I'm also a little bit disappointed that Collier had to go off. I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. It was just he was the easiest person to take off to allow Garnacho to come on in the attacking area, and that's where things started to get going. Getting Eriksson and Bruno in the middle of the pitch, using their brilliant forward passing attributes, getting Ahmad on the ball running at people, getting Garnacho on the ball running at people, and that is when Kobbie Mainoo really came alive. Because as much as I've sung Garnacho's praises, Kobbie Mainoo's man of the match today. There's no doubt about that in my mind. He was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm pleased that he tried him in the forward position, because everyone's been talking about Mainoo and Ugarte in the midfield. Is it really working? Is it not working? Maybe Mainoo should play further forward. Maybe Bruno should play a little bit deeper. Well, that's what he did today, and it worked really well. I would still think it stifles Bruno a little bit, because I think Bruno, again, doesn't really like playing in the deeper role, but he doesn't have the amount of skill and the amount of flair that Mainoo has, or even the amount of pace that Mainoo has. And that's what you need in that area of the pitch off a striker. Someone who's going to make that sharp turn, to have that little bit of extra genius to create the openings. And that was Kobbie Mainoo, especially in the second half, after already being the best player in the first half. He creates the goal for Dalot, and he is then the goal scorer of the second goal after another brilliant piece of play from Garnacho. What does this mean for us going forward? Hopefully, more progression. It's another win. It's another clean sheet. I got no complaints about Bayandir again. I thought he had a pretty solid game. He made saves when he had to. He was commanding on set pieces, something that I still think Onana needs to work on. Yes, we still weren't great on set pieces, but he handled them a lot better than what Onana usually does. So again, I'd be interested to see what the thought process is going forward in terms of the goalkeeping position. But like I say, it's back-to-back clean sheets. It's back-to-back wins. It's 5 wins in 6. It's something to move forward with. We've got Crystal Palace at home at the weekend. And I now look at that game with full expectation that we will win it. I'm not saying we're playing fantastic stuff. This was certainly the best football we've played in a little while. But it's progress. It's building. What needs to happen now is we back it up. Because I've sat here so many times over the last 2.5 years talking about an Erik ten Hag team that puts together a couple of good performances, starts showing progression, then plays a team like Crystal Palace at home and then loses. Look what happened with Bournemouth just a few weeks ago. Brilliant performance against Manchester City, brilliant performances against Liverpool and Arsenal, but we lose 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. That's what can't happen this weekend. And he's got some big decisions to make. Who he starts, where he starts them. And obviously, as I started the video, I'll end the video with it. Whether or not Garnacho is going to be an option he can call upon. I hope he is. I hope the ownership are looking at this performance tonight and not rubbing their hands together going, oh yes, we know how much this player's worth. Let's get all that money for him. What they should be thinking is, oh my word, look how much this player is worth. What can we achieve with him in our side? So, as always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on Manchester United's prospects of winning the Europa League. It's obviously a route into the Champions League. We've finished the competition strongly here. We put ourselves into a good position for the knockout stages. Can we go all the way and win it? What else would you like to see in the transfer window before it shuts? Are we going to beat Crystal Palace on Sunday? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.